It goes in both directions. And I didn't even finish, and some areas didn't even really start the 90s yet over here, I don't think. So you can see them here. I'm obviously going to put something higher up, so maybe right about this level where the cursor is, I'm going to put some 24s. I might call them, path of the quarters or something like that, because it's at level 125. That's dumb, but it's going to be something. It's not necessarily going to describe or give it a purpose. It's just going to see when I remove certain apps, and this is going to happen to you guys too. If you find out that you don't want to use certain add-ons anymore, it'll leave its residue here. So either you could do what I plan to do and just say that this place is kind of like an astral region, mostly empty astral region where dimensional stuff happens. Sometimes there's dimensional residue. You can just come clean up, this stuff. So sorry, you can do that, or you can manually go look for it, or if you're good at coding, which I'm not, you can put in a code that'll just get the residue out generally across the world. So anyway, that's another thing I gotta do. Maintaining a large property here. So here's the 90s again, just wrapping around. These are vertical bridges. I'm gonna make come back and put a ladder or something in the in between those two vertically. So did I do that already? No, that doesn't look thick enough. I'm gonna put a way to get from both bridges in the middle. Okay, this bridge goes to an area that's not even started yet. So I started carving the side out for the path, as you can see. But just a little piece, just as a reminder when I'm over here, because the area is so big, I'll literally forget, oh, I was supposed to go back and do this. Okay, so the 90s aren't even done on this segment yet. There's an indicator over here of where the 90s are going to bridge across on both sides. But so far, this is only the 80s. And this goes back here. There's like an inner area here. There's another back here. Well, that's actually where the two bridges are. I'm going to put something up there most likely at some point. These things sticking out of the ground, those tall skinny things, not the vertical ones, but the ones that also go across. See, like that one forming in the center of the screen? It looks like a square hoop. Those indicate the outer borders of what was hollowed out under this area. So there's a vast area under here. The 80s follows it. So if we didn't go over if we continued this way, this still continued on all the way around the front of this hill. So this is probably the northernmost part of the 80s. And again, the 90s haven't been done yet here. So I have to come back and do the 90s. So let's see how far the front is. Yeah, this was an area that I did a long time ago. At that time, I thought this was remote. This is going out to the pyramid. So that's actually too far off in the distance. Again, 80s. Okay. So before I deviate it to show you that inner area and tell you about the underground areas, if I didn't do that, this is where we would have came, where we just went. So now I'm going to shortcut, cheat, come back here. Oh, I have to come back and finish these because there's a village inside this area. So I have to give a special designation here because it's surrounded on 360 degrees by this hill. So this This will have to be like a, you know, an elite, you know, secret hideout area or something. You know, I don't know what else to say right now. Okay, so let's go back over here. Okay, so those are those things sticking out. Let's go back to this area. This is the small area. So those wrap around. Now we're in the northeast. So the fortress complex is going to be way over to our right side. The 80s are here. 90s aren't done yet. This, I forgot which texture this is, but it's very cute. It smooths the texture out. It still looks natural. And the sun and moon come up like cubes. And it has a good light, and the lighting effect is good. 80s. Part of the point of me showing this to you, I know it's long, but that's part of my point, is realizing with me the scale of what I built so far. Still on a grand level and not even down to a lot of specifics. This is going to be the start of the 90s. So this connects into the building back there. And this will also connect at the level that I'm at. This will connect to the side of the wall. Do have a basic structure in here. That's the, you know, the guard walk up here. I'm going to put more stuff, some supports. Okay. So now we're swinging over towards the east side of the fortress, going from northeast to east. And what I meant to say before, this is the east. I said before that area that we started from, that was northwest. So I meant to say there's a whole area west of the fortress. That's still part of the area that we began this video with. So I try to incorporate it. You know, that's its own area that goes down to the void. Each one have its own theme, different inner layout. So we didn't get there yet. Okay. It makes the land itself look like one gigantic interior hotel resort almost to me. It's like people from all dimensions come here, you know, for vacation and to heal and rest their souls, and then you actually get here and it's abandoned. Don't ask me why, I don't. Alright, so this was a fortress, a mansion. That was naturally here. Okay. 80s and 90s is there. You can see towers in the distance, so that's the eastern side of the fortress complex. That's where the little red fortress and the castle is. So you can see that here. So even over here, by the fortress, hopefully it doesn't crash out on me here. Okay, that's the east side of the Black Fortress. So we had left that way and came all the way around back here. And even here, the 80s and 90s wraps all the way around. And I don't want to go there because I don't want it to crash this close to the fortress. There's a level I'm building down there. And also, while we're at it, yeah, what I was doing here, you can actually see it better on the other side. I was going to show you the 60s, okay? There's the red fortress with the redwoods in front of it. The redwood tower. There's the Jed tower in the back. Okay, 80s and 90s below us. All the way in the back. all the way to the fortress and into it, using the landscape. So Nico's castle is here. Okay, 80s and 90s is here. It might crash here. It might crash. Actually, I didn't finish I did it up to here, but I didn't... Did I? Yeah, I did finish it. Oh, this is a different area. Okay, I remember now. There's another area under here. Let's just go here real quick, just so you can see what an unfinished area is. So this goes all the way down to the void. So I'm going to put all kinds of levels and stairs and stuff. And now I got to get out. Okay. This is going into an eastern part of the fortress. We might as well go here while we're still looking at the 80s and 90s. We're only about halfway through the 80s and 90s. So this is an area I have to repair. But I think this was the one that had the sky with the mosaic sun in the middle. And this is the 80s path here, going through the inside of the fortress complex. So literally when you walk in these paths, you have to choose which direction to go in, like even down to, entire regions. You might, take one bridge instead of another, and you're just going to be in a completely different region. So if you want to go to do something and branch off as a side quest, you're probably going to get lost. Okay, the 90s are over here, but this section is a little different. Yeah, I think the brick is different because of what's inside. Again, there's building and everything underground inside this area. This is what I call the tongue. Goes underneath. There's a hollowed out area under there. So we're going to go on the back of Nico's castle and see the 90s, 80s, and we're going to come back to this because the 80s is actually inside here because this cut through a cavern. Let me see. Yeah, the 80s is inside. So as you're walking that path, you'll end up walking through here, seeing this from the inside. And still not necessarily having an idea of where you are when you look out these windows. So they're supposed to be there like to help you see everything, but it really doesn't help you when you're lost. Let's go down here. Yep, so the 80s go all around that rim. Okay, sorry for making anybody dizzy. So this has to be cut back here, and I didn't even get through this. There's another area here. Back here, it's a blue area. So this area, this actually isn't even it. This is the one that we went inside of. The blue area is back there, but here's some more 80s and 90s. There's a bridge there. So again, I would have to branch off because I'd have to follow this end to come around to, I guess what's going to be the falls, like like a Niagara, like a power generator. Okay, and then this goes all the way to the side. Okay. Again, those towers you see near the fortress, they all go down to level 50 or 60, and they all connect to each other underground. The tunnels are black and white with an occasional purple light, so it gives its own environment, very claustrophobic down there. But you can skip areas, so I don't know if I'm going to leave them without signs or let you guys get lost in it. So there's the white pyramid in the back. Let's go check this out. This also is like a water intake. And I cleared this down to the void as well. So this is almost like a filter. And I'm going to go ahead and break a stone. I'm going to have to prepare that later, but okay, this is the inside. That goes up. There's a room above that white light. And this drops all the way down. And I put the floor down. But the water coming in goes all the way down. I made a spiral water staircase. So this is the type of stuff while you're just playing your ordinary Minecraft world. You know, I'm going to put stuff in there like rocks and plants, make it look like actual waterfall, but these designs are so large that, let me find my way out. I just don't have a lot of time to stop to do detail yet. So, I don't want to break this. I think I avoided this before. Yeah, I came in through, should be a hole over here somewhere. Here it is. So you got just these little things as you come across them. They're not necessarily anything, but sometimes when you examine them, you will find, yeah, I was going to make something out of this. See, there's just so many intended areas. You will find that something has a purpose, or something that looks out of place is actually a clue for something. So part of the adventure is that everything you investigate may or may not have a meaning or a purpose to it. Okay, so we have to come back here because this is that west area that leads back to where we started came from. We didn't even finish going this way. Okay, so where my cursor is pointing now, center screen, that's the fortress, the white fortress back there. Actually, yeah, back there. I have to get back this way. So the 90s aren't even done on this area. So as vast as it is on this side, some of it doesn't even have the 90s yet. See, one of my apps I must have deleted by accident, so now I have a whole forest full of purple question mark trees. Kind of ruins the work a little bit. I have removed an add-on and put it back in, then it went back to normal. But with the tree and plant ones that I had tried and the one I'm using now, some of them when you use them and go back, it doesn't repair the trees. So adding it doesn't fix it. Maybe there could be an update, a patch update. Hopefully, was I standing in front of the, hope I wasn't standing in front of the camera. Okay. So again, guys, we're on the southeast side. And you can see it splitting off. I don't even know if I'm going to do these because I think I kind of stopped here. Yeah, because the blue building, yeah, there's the blue building that has a void under it back that way. Yep, so this is going south now on the east side. This is the entire region. And sometimes you'll find entrances to a very large area that I made or leading to mines or, again, a trial area that was trial ruins, are they called? And I didn't. Some of them might have gotten damaged while I was constructing things. See, look, I gotta go all the way this way. I think the white pyramid is right back there. Yeah. So, whatever I was just saying, I think I was pretty much done with that anyway. Sorry I didn't finish it, but you didn't really need the rest of that to know what I was talking about. So there's a bridge going here. I didn't even cut this part 80s or 90s yet. Well, right here. But the 80s is done here. There it goes. We're still going further southeast away from the fortress. So you have to turn around because it's behind me. Still the 80s. Didn't even do the 90s yet. I'm going to speed up a little bit. So that must be a structure from one of my add-ons because I didn't put that there. But I'll go check it out later. So I'll come around this corner. This is probably the furthest southwest, I think, for now, until I eventually get down to those hills. That's if I get to it. There's too much I want to do. I'm not going to be able to do everything. I did a lot of these, but since I think it's an impressive size, I might as well just keep it going until there's no more hills. Okay, this is the furthest east. I could be wrong. No. So around this corner, yeah, I have to cut through all of this. Yeah. At that point, it has to have a completely different realm, like the dark realm I'm going to do by the pyramid there. Okay, so I don't know if I want to do anything evil with the pyramid though. I don't personally see it as an evil thing. Okay, yep. This is still the 80s. East side, East region. This all these over here that you still see white, I have to put grass and trees on them. Okay, we're coming back around the northeast side, I think. Are we? Hang on. Because they're even, yeah, this is going back, yep. Yeah, this is still the east side. This is still east. And yeah, is that mansion going to pop up shortly? See, this is almost like an island over here, one of these areas. I think it's kind of connected, but it's just mostly two bridges. Somewhere over here. I'm going to fly over that in a minute anyway because there's more on the internal part of the mountain. Okay. So I think this was the. Oh man, we're still not there. This is just bigger than I remember. Yeah, this is bigger than I remember. There's like a crevice in there. It wraps back. But where that is at the end, I think I made a tunnel that connects all the way more towards the front of the fortress. Yeah, there's still more back here. Oh my gosh. Yeah, there it is. And now we're finally at the Sphinx. So this is all the way east. More pathways. This area here, going into the Sphinx, I literally split this mountain all the way down to the void. So when you're walking through here, can I get in here? When you get to the glass, you can see the sky there and the sky all the way on the bottom. So that cuts all the way back. The idea I got from that is that the Sphinx is called the Hora Maket. It faces west. It's considered the guardian of what spiritual and mental level a person is at. And if you're not at a disciplined enough level to be able to be what they consider to be divine, you wouldn't be able to progress into the higher parts of your spirit that some people will call the heavenly realms. So it was the guardian at the threshold between the earthly and the heaven realms, and so that Hora Maket, that Sphinx, is symbolic of called the Lord of the Two Horizons, I believe. So that just gave me an idea. Even though the horizon would be horizontal, it gave me the idea, and I just went with a vertical split. This is still the 80s. This is far northeast. Maybe not the furthest. It's still going. So we're actually going back towards the pyramid again. Oh, I didn't put the ceiling on. I'm going to have to come back and do that entire thing. Floor and the ceiling. So you can see how I build them. So once I got those outer edges aligned with the natural landscape, put the base blocks, 2 window blocks, and then the roof. And then the grass and everything goes on top. But the roof and the floor are the last step. And they're actually the fastest with the building tool. The other ones have to place like one at a time. So that's an unfinished 80s. So eventually there's hills over there. There's going to be a bridge going to that and cutting those hills out. So that'll be way in the future. This is still the 80s. Mind you, we went to the furthest southeast and we're coming back around to the north side. Didn't even do the 90s yet. Yeah, those trees look horrible. I gotta figure out which mod I deactivated. Yeah, this whole section I didn't finish. We should officially be getting to the north side. This is even ridiculous to me. So when you do something a little bit at a time and you just keep doing it, you keep putting 1 penny at a time into the barrel, it will fill up. The satisfaction again with me was the fun building it. So to other people, it might be crazy or they don't really understand what the point of it is, but this was a great deal of therapy for me. This is still the 80s. This is still the 80s. I'm actually lost myself. I know eventually it's going to wrap back around towards the Black Fortress. Oh my gosh. Wow. I'm actually baffling. I'm even baffled. This is still the 80s. Oh my god. I might just have to skip the internal part of the eastern section. Still the 80s. Still the 80s down there. I think I just finally came back to another section, so 80s. Yep, there's that mansion. So the fortress is directly in front of me. So let me just shoot over here real quick. I think you should see some of the 80s in here too. No, this one is only going to be the 90s. That's why there's nothing here. Okay, good. So I have to cut into that mountain back there. And finally, we're going to go back to the south section. There's that water power center. White Pyramid is back that way. Okay, the fortress should be coming up on our right, or that back south section should be right in front of us. Yep, there it is, a big white giant brick with the trees on it. Yeah. Okay, fortress is back there. Okay. There it is materializing. That's Nico's fortress behind those trees. Okay. There's a massive area hollowed out underneath. An area coming up. So these I flattened a little bit because in the back these little ones on the left I'll get to. Okay. But this is the only part that I didn't wrap around the castle. It might only be 80s. Yeah, because there is an 80s. Matter of fact, that's how I'm going to get and show you that. Because the 80s over on the southeast side here doesn't extend all the way back. So I did make, just have to find it. There is a cut through over here. Shoot. Give me a moment. Let me come out here. I forgot to show you guys the 60s. My bad. I am trying to find, I think it's over here. Here it is. So you could see the 80s bricks starting, and it's going to continue in front here. Let's go through here. Okay, there's a ladder. This goes up somewhere. So, again, see there's that original castle back there on the top, Gray Castle. That was the first thing I built in this Minecraft world. And then I decided to make the Fortress project the main project. So, you can see the 80s here coming out. Let's go out. See the 80s and 90s and some 120s and some 24s up there coming out, going into the fortress complex and wrapping around. Okay, the 60s are down here. Can I get inside from here? No. I'll make a way. But this is the 60s. So while you're walking through the 60s, you'll be able to see out into the water. This here is one of the bedrock tunnels that connects those towers. And I told you are connected by black and white tunnels. Okay, so that connects back, and I'm going to start here because when we came from the north side towards the fortress, this is where I started going around the fortress towards the Black Pyramid. Remember I said I have to cut the 90s here. So we're going to go the opposite direction. We come out here so I can get the view. You can see a massive structure forming in the back. It's just a frame. It's just a vague frame that goes deep. So here's the 80s and 90s on the west side of the fortress. So the 80s will actually go to this structure. I kind of made a doorway area there. Make some more supports for that bridge. See, those are cut back there and not filled yet. See, these have grass on them, but so I covered the white, but I have to put trees. See, those aren't filled yet. Those are 80s and 90s. Okay. I'm still here, in case you thought the sound dropped out. So this area around here, all the way back around to the front, is what I just finished on the 90s. So again, that has to get covered up with grass and trees. So there's an area back here. It's big enough where I can put a little hidden thing going on back there. Maybe put a roof on it, make it a cave. Yep, so I'm going to go fill these in. And there's that little bridge in the back I was looking for before, and that's a good way to get out of here. Okay, we're just looking all around us.